All right, let's talk about your email list. Right now, it's one of two things. Either it's this amazing, powerful marketing engine, or it's a liability that's actually hurting your brand. Yeah, there's really no in between. So today, we're going to break down exactly how you can turn that list into your most valuable asset. And it all kicks off with one simple shift in how you think about it. And here it is. This one idea from Mashkoor Alam is the key to, well, everything we're about to cover. He says, your email list is like a garden. So stop thinking of it as just a boring old database. It's a living thing. It needs care, it needs weeding, it needs nurturing if you want it to flourish. I promise you, once you start seeing it this way, your entire strategy is going to change. So every single email list, yours included, is on one of two paths. On one side, you've got the thriving garden. We're talking high engagement, real relationships with your audience, and an amazing return on your investment. But on the other side, that's the neglected garden, and it gets totally overrun by the marketing version of weeds. Spam complaints, rock-bottom engagement, and all this wasted effort that's actively damaging your brand. Okay, let's get into what these weeds actually are. Because make no mistake, they aren't just dead weights sitting on your list. No, they're a hidden threat, and they are quietly sabotaging your entire marketing operation from the inside out. So the first and maybe most common weed is a hard bounce. All this means is a permanent delivery failure. Think of it like sending a letter to a house that's been demolished. The address is just gone. Now, to email providers like Google or Outlook, every single one of those is a huge red flag. It screams this person isn't managing their list, and it immediately starts chipping away at your sender reputation. Okay, but now for something way, way more dangerous. We're talking about spam traps, which are also called honeypots. These are basically bait email addresses. The big providers set them up for one reason and one reason only, to catch spammers and, you guessed it, people with sloppy, unmanaged lists. Hitting one of these is literally like stepping on a digital landmine. It instantly flags you as a risky sender and can do, catastrophic damage to your reputation. And this is how it all falls apart. It's a domino effect. See, you start getting a lot of bounces and you hit a spam trap or two, bam, that directly tanks your sender reputation. And once that's damaged, your deliverability, your ability to actually get into the inbox, it just craters. Suddenly, your emails aren't even reaching your most loyal fans. They're just disappearing into the void. All right, so now that we know what the threats are, the big question is, how do we fight back? How do we tend our garden? Well, it all comes down to a few core practices. These are the essential gardening techniques that'll keep your list healthy and your audience engaged. Think of these 4 steps as your gardener's toolkit. First up, double opt-in. That's your gatekeeper, making absolutely sure every new subscriber really wants to be there. Next, regular audits. This is you, systematically weeding your garden, pulling out those bad contacts before they can do any harm. Then you've got a sunset policy. That's just a fancy term for pruning, gracefully letting go of the subscribers who just aren't engaging anymore. And finally, segmentation. This is how you feed your plants the right food, giving different groups the specific, relevant content they crave. And look what happens when you segment. Your list stops being this one giant, messy blob and turns into these really clear, actionable groups. Now you can see exactly who's who. Okay, these are the new folks who need a warm welcome. These guys are repeat buyers who deserve a special offer. And hey, this group over here, they're your VIPs. And this slice, well, these are the inactive folks we either need to try and win back or, just prune from the list. All right, let me ask you a question to really drive this home. Let's say you have this, a list of 1,000 people, and they are super engaged, opening and clicking on pretty much everything you send them. Or you could have this, a massive list, 1 million subscribers, but they're totally unengaged. They ignore you, maybe even mark you as spam. So, which one is more valuable? It's a no-brainer, right? That small, highly engaged list is worth infinitely more. And this really gets to the core of it all. Your goal isn't just to chase a bigger number. Your goal has to be about cultivating quality and engagement. Now, look, you could do all this gardening by hand, But why would you? The right software is like getting a set of power tools. It automates all the hard work. So let's take a quick peek at some of the tools out there.
Okay, so the most important thing here isn't about finding the single best tool. It's about finding the right tool for your garden. For instance, if you're deep in e-commerce or SaaS and need those cool interactive emails, a platform like Mailmodo might be your best bet. If you're a small business or a nonprofit and just need a solid all-around workhorse, you can't go wrong with something like Constant Contact. And then for more specific things like, say, transactional emails or hosting webinars, tools like Bravo and GetResponse are awesome and really competitively priced. The big takeaway is this: match the tool's superpower to your main goal.
So, if you only remember one thing from all of this, please let it be this simple but powerful idea. Your job is not to just manage a list of email addresses. Your real job is to cultivate relationships with the actual human beings behind them. And that really brings us to one final, crucial question you have to ask yourself. It's a fundamental shift in how you see your role. So, are you just a list manager? Or are you a community builder? Because how you answer that question, well, that's what's going to define your success.